in the Soviet Union. It's certainly written on the paper, but it's not true in reality.
Also joining us from the studio of our NBC affiliate in Syracuse, New York, WSTM-TV, is Karen DeCrow, who, while president of the National Organization for Women, was invited in 1975 to come to a Soviet conference on women to speak, and they didn't like what you had to say. What happened?
Well, basically what I had to say then is the same thing that one could say today, which is that there is a direct link between participation in the highest levels of government and equality in the workforce, and of course equal roles between men and women in family life. And those things are not true today in the United States, and they are not true today in the Soviet Union. And I think what was said by our colleague in Moscow today is the same thing that they were saying when I was there 9 years ago. And I pointed to certain specific things, for example, the laws that, some of the laws which they have, which clearly discriminate on the basis of sex, and they were not pleased when I pointed these things out. For example, I asked at a meeting of judges if the law which guarantees maternity leave also would guarantee paternity leave for fathers. And it took them a long time to translate this because they'd never heard of the word paternity leave. And then they said, in capitalist countries, do men have babies? Ho, ho, ho. And I said, no, we hadn't accomplished that yet. But we were attempting to get here and in Scandinavia a sense that fathers were also responsible for taking care of their children. They not only hadn't heard of the concept, they said, well, of course women take care of children. And when I inquired why, they said, well, men don't know how to cook for children. It was very clear that the sole responsibility, or at least the very major responsibility for parenthood, rests on women in the Soviet Union, which I would say is the key reason why the Politburo is male, why the Central Committee is male, because women don't have time to participate actively in political life.
Can I have a one-word response from you on this, Ms. DeCrow? Based on your observation, are women in the Soviet Union better or worse off than here?
I think women in every country in the world have to fight for the ending of gender role stereotypes.
Brian?
You've been listening to this, Ms. Zarubina. Your response?
Yes, gladly. Well, first I would start by saying that if you do see women in construction work, it doesn't mean that anybody forces them there. I believe that they find this is the best they can do for the education they got. Because in my country, education at all levels is free. So if you get better educated, you get a better job, and you can choose the job. That is to start with. The second thing about maternity leaves and paternity leaves and all that. Well, I would like to tell my American televiewers that, you see, it's very important to see where we all started. Your country has its own history and your own traditions, so do we. So the question of bringing up, well, up to today, I would say the attitude of men towards their role of women not in society, which men are already, I would say, reconciliated with, but it's the question of the role men should play in family, in the family chores, and that takes a little time.
One final note then, you have painted such a rosy picture. Is there no room for improvement in the status of women in the Soviet Union?
No, I didn't say that at all. You got me wrong. Not everything is pink. There's so many things we still have to do. But women having equal rights and wishing to work, still somebody has to do the cooking and the shopping and all that. In many families it is shared, in many it is not.
As I say thank you, not only here, but in New York and Syracuse. You sure you don't know where Svetlana went, huh?
Cross my heart, I don't know, and I don't have to know that.
Zoya Zarubina, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We'll come back after a break. This is Today on NBC.
Why should I know? Just tell me. I work in one place.
But you